Hi, today I've got a few young people to pose some interesting questions about politics and politicians, and I'm going to try my best to answer them. For me, politics is a way to bring about deep and meaningful change in society. I find that today, when we stand up and talk about the Constitution, when we talk about the fundamental values of Indian society, many look to us and breathe a sigh of relief that there is an opposition, that there is a check to power, and that brings a great amount of relief. Of course, there's a lot of development work that we do in our constituency, and if you do get elected, as an elected government, you can bring about tremendous change in your state. So all of that inspires me to join politics. I think criticism is extremely important and valuable. A, because it helps you learn about some flaws which might be unseen to yourself. And B, it tells you about somebody else's perspective. Politics is as much about listening as it is about expressing your own values and beliefs. I think today politics is increasingly very combative. I think you have to really wear your heart on your sleeve, and people recognize authenticity. People recognize and value sincerity. So you can't be in this and think that people would not see through your game or see through your fakeness. So I think it's all about being true to the ideology that you've entered politics with, and you have to be ready to combat and be combative. So the one thing I want to change is have longer sittings. I think we sit for too fewer days in a year. Out of 365 days, we sit for only 70 to 75. I think, for the rise in salary that we've just got, I think Parliament should be convened for longer, anywhere close to 100 and 110 days. That's the number of days we were sitting when India got her independence. I think the number one most important thing for a politician is to really understand the political ideology that you want to be a part of, a political ideology that you want to defend, a political ideology that you want to educate the masses about. I think number one is ideology, and second thing is about sincerity. There has to be a form of conviction, a form of sincerity. You're not in this for your personal gain. There is a lot of sacrifices to have committed. So you can do all of this if you only have conviction and sincerity. Well, a serious challenge is how much time do I devote to my constituency, to my state, and to national and global issues. My favorite memory of the Parliament is when I walked in to give the no confidence speech on Manipur. The Parliament was packed. It reminded me of the Colosseum in Rome, and I felt like a gladiator heading into battle. What makes a good speech is conviction, is information, and is about focus. So what I do is I need to outline what I want to say, give the supporting facts, and speak with passion. There are two parliamentarians that I've loved to follow over the past few years. One is P. Chidambaram. The way he communicates about finance and economics in a very brief and articulate manner is something to be admired. And the other, she's no longer with us, is the former External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. The way to speak as a leader of the opposition with both passion and poetry is something that continues to inspire me even today. Besides the parliamentary debates, the committee meetings that we have on policy matters are extremely important because we are able to convey the experiences of our constituents to the policymakers and bureaucrats and ministers that make an important decision in the future. The one thing that I learned from my peers in the opposite side of the aisle is their perspective and their history and ideology. I think it's very important for me to understand why they are saying what they are saying, and I learn a lot about it as well. And often it helps me to find a common ground. Something that people might not know, that we might have a huge difference with members of the opposition party, but it's not personal. After a debate is over, we often come down, have a cup of tea, and discuss why we said what we said during the debate. My favorite place in the parliament is the central hall of the old parliament building. That's where the most famous Tryst with Destiny speech was made by the first Prime Minister Pandit Nehru. And when the old parliament was convened, we would sit in the central hall and meet with colleagues both from Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, as well as meet with senior journalists. I think no place in the current parliament can replace the memory and traditions of the central hall of the old parliament building.